subsidy program in order for us to access cohorts such as women groups, students, any groups that cannot afford. So in addition to financing, we need subsidies. And we know countries like Rwanda are already doing $20 per phone in terms of subsidy. So we will look and work with others, including development partners and private sector players, to support the subsidy agenda, to be able to ensure that no one is left behind. So in conclusion, Safaricom recognizes that technology has the tremendous potential to unlock Kenyans' economic growth, solve society issues, and deepen digital and financial inclusion. We'll continue to collaborate with the government towards projects and initiatives that serve and transform the lives of Kenyans. As I conclude, I want to take opportunity, just like Michael has done, to recognize the efforts of all partners who have been involved in this process today that has led in delivering the first of its kind device assembly plant in Kenya. It is such partnership that will create the opportunities for economic development, leading to improved quality of life. Thank you in particular to the ICT Ministry, in particular the CS and your team, and also from across government who have worked closely to fulfill Your Excellency's promise to establish the local smartphone assembly capacity in Kenya. With those remarks, I thank you for being part of this historic moment, Your Excellency, and thank you very much, and we promise to continue to be partners in this very important agenda. Thank you very much. So it's now my pleasure to invite my counterpart from Jamii Telecom, Chairman Joshua.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, riding on the protocol already observed, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here before I start my speech. Let me tell you the story so that, for record purposes, because it's an opportunity for you to understand how ideas can work, ideas at work. One afternoon, in the year of the Lord 2022, I invited my friend Peter for a cup of kienyeji tea, locally brewed tea. And we sat down and have various discussions, social issues, industry issues. And in part of the industry issue, we discuss ourselves and say we need to look at ourselves inwardly as a country. And particularly ourselves, because we are in a well-placed position as industry leaders to discuss the challenges and solutions that can change and accelerate adaptation of ICT services in the country. We discussed very well. It was a big debate. Luckily enough, we had empirical data. And we finalized and say we need a partner in government. So we were lucky enough to approach His Excellency the President to have a conversation with him on the challenges we face as an industry. And he was courteous enough to be able to give us an appointment one morning, Sunday morning, before his official trip to France. And we were there at 7 o'clock. We sat down with him. We explained the process. And in the process, we agreed that he said, we'll support the government, we'll support you guys. And we kept on discussing vitu matatu. Affordable smartphone, affordable smartphone, affordable smartphone. Ama inaitwa mambo matatu. Lakini yetu nilikuwa vitu vitatu. So, Your Excellency, and I think what your leadership, we must congratulate you and thank you for supporting us and believing in us. Your believing in us gives us confidence to think differently as we look at solutions of how we can enable this country. I think nimaja story kidogo sasa, let me go to the written speech. Today marks a transformative moment for Kenya, an inflection point in our journey to become a digitally empowered economy. As we unveil our local assembled smartphone, we stand at the cusp of an exciting new era, one that promises unparalleled digital opportunities for all Kenyans. It would be remiss for me not to acknowledge the invaluable role played by His Excellency the President, his forward-thinking government. Their vision, dedication, and unwavering commitments have been the bedrock upon which this initiative was built. Through favorable, timely intervention and astute policy decision, the government has created an environment where ideas like our affordable smartphone device initiative can thrive. These actions echo a profound understanding that technology is not more than just a tool, but it's a vehicle for progress, a pathway to a brighter future. We embarked on this journey with a clear vision to democratize data and make the dream of digital transformation realizable for every Kenyan, especially considering that today over 60% of mobile subscribers are 2G. And I will give facts. We have 66 million SIM cards. But when some of you have 3 SIM cards, for other reason or the other, but averagely it is 2. So we have persons, 33 million, who has a phone. So out of that, 60% of it is Mulika Mwizi, has been Ndego as a reference. And so with immense pride, I can say that we are one step closer to that dream. But it's not just about a device, it's about unlocking potential, bridging the digital divide and fostering an inclusion. It's about ensuring that Kenya, irrespective of the economical standing, can access the digital world and the merit opportunity it presents. Power mukononi. EDAC has an installed capacity of producing around 3 million smartphones per year. And I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that not only that we have the capacity to produce the smartphones, 3 million smartphones, with capacity to expand, but we have also capacity to produce routers, wireless access point of sale device, POS, those are POS, tablets, smart meters both for electricity and water, laptops, and many other digital devices. We have that capacity. With flexibility to multiply the capacity, the production capacity, we have ability to meet not only our local demand, but position Kenya as an export to the greater East Africa region. This is the second successful consortium initiative. One first consortium initiative was the issue of the undersea cable. When we walked down in 2009 in partnership with government and all operators, including Telecom Kenya, Safaricom, JTL, Liquid, and which other company there? I think those are the major companies which were there. And we able to create a project with ET Salat of United Emirates. We're able to conceptualize a project on an undersea cable. And today, everybody is bringing undersea cable, but the insurance for the Republic is the Teams cable. Your Excellency, the other thing that I want to mention is that recently I saw you visiting Congo Brazzaville. Nataka hata kidogo ukienda huku upeange sawadi, give out sawadi your phone, so we make sure that you constantly supply you, ndio ukionyesha hao nasema ukiona hii ni mzuri, I will show you the place pole pole. I know you are our biggest marketer, Your Excellency, and I believe in you that you will be able to help us. The ripple effect of this initiative are boundless, from e-learning to telemedicine, from online business to digital banking, e-government services. This smartphone will empower individuals, invigorate business, inject fresh momentum in our national digital transformation strategies. We are also creating employment and positively impacting the community. We forge ahead to create this reality. We must be cognizant of the threat of cheap illegal imports, the potential to slow down or reverse the gains we strive for. We appeal to the government through the relevant government agencies to help us seal the loopholes that allows for entry of these devices into our market. We must deal with this threat very decisively for us to realize the full benefit of this venture. Your Excellency, unajua tunasikia we listen to its stories. We have been told some come to some countries. I don't want to be specific to the country. And they do panya routes. And they paid around, by phone, 50 cents US dollars without avoiding paying duty. It is very unfortunate. And we are willing as an industry to work together with relevant authorities to see whether we can adapt a technological approach or we can work with information system, because at the end of the day is that we have ability in our networks to identify the IME number of the devices. So we can really work together with KRA and the Ministry of ICT to be able to develop a long-lasting solution so that we can close these panya routes. Allow me, Your Excellency, before I reach the conclusion, to take also this opportunity to thank all our service providers who has worked very hard, including the main contractors. I might not be able to name them, our employees, the technical team led by Mutiga and Cyrus, Sam, and Caro, and the legal team, the whole team, in behalf of, and the entire board for working day and night to make sure that we are able to have a factory ready for you to open today. In conclusion, on behalf of East Africa Device Assembly Consortium, I express my heartfelt gratitude to His Excellency the President, his government, every individual who has been instrumental in bringing this vision to life. Together, we are ushering a new digital age for Kenya, catalyzing progress and laying the groundwork for a brighter, more connected future for all. Kabla sijasema ya mwisho, unajua, these things is very historical because it happens once in lifetime, and if you miss it, something else will turn. You know, he minister, Your Excellency, I don't know if I nini, alisumbua sisi, anakuja factory, anasema hii kitu kani, we are opening this day, you happen, tunaambia ngoja kidogo, enda ambia mzuri, ambia mzee, Excellency, poa. So, thank you, Waziri, for what you did. Your push delivered the factory. The other people I want to congratulate also from, if we have the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury, Njuguna, Professor Njuguna and Dr. Chris Kipto, they facilitated a lot in terms of what we were doing. In fact, when we had a big challenge in terms of publication of East Africa digital remission scheme, we worked tirelessly with them and it was effective. The other person I want to thank is my friend, who is our chairman in the industry, Mary Wamboi. Thank you very much for coming, madam. So, to close, unajua sasa sababu tumeongea Kiswahili. Unajua, Your Excellency, you are better than us because you know we don't practice all the time. Sasa nasema, thank you all. Asanteni sana. Mungu ibariki Kenya. And this ibariki Kenya na ibariki Uchina because it's of our partnership. With those few remarks, may I kindly to invite our Honorable Cabinet Minister for Information, Communication and Digital Economy to the podium. Thank you.
Allow me to invite my cabinet colleague, Susan Nakumicha, CS Health, to say something because she's an integral stakeholder in the rollout of these affordable digital devices. Karibu.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, my cabinet colleague, Cabinet Eliud Owalo, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to join you today in this momentous occasion for IDAC. And I stand before you as the first customer of IDAC. Your Excellency, allow me to demonstrate that before we got this gadget previously, our community health promoters used to walk around with a bag with these registers. I have carried 2 because I was not able to carry the 5 that they used to carry. Now, this 5, Your Excellency, has been reduced to this gadget. I am the most happiest on this day. Your Excellency, each of these registers used to record different information. Now, this gadget, we have an application called eKais that is carrying all the information that used to be collected in these 5 registers. This is transformative, not just for the country, not just for the Ministry of Health, but for the world, I believe. Your Excellency, having acquired these gadgets locally, we were able to go around. You know, our procurement rules, Your Excellency. It would take forever for the ministry to procure 100,000 gadgets. But working together with Safaricom, in less than 2 months, we were able to get these gadgets. And that is the benefit of working with locally assembled products. Your Excellency, we were able to cut down on the costs. From what we were getting in the open market, we were able to cut down by about 30%. So we had value for money, Your Excellency. But for me, Your Excellency, the most important that we achieved from buying locally assembled products. If we had gone to the open market, there are some things that we would not have been able to put on this phone. For example, it wouldn't have come with our application. But now, these phones are being delivered to us with the application that is specifically for healthcare, the eKais application, Your Excellency. As if that is not enough, we are working together with our partner Safaricom to ensure that these gadgets are geofenced, so that then the community health promoters are able to work within the area that they have been allocated, and they are able to serve the households. Your Excellency, it used to take forever for the information from the registers to be passed from one level of service point to the national level. But with them collecting data on this gadget, Your Excellency, each day at the ministry level, we are able to see what each community health promoter has done. This is a game changer for the Ministry of Health, and I want to thank Safaricom for the continued partnership. I'm told in marketing, I believe it's one of the biggest costs for Safaricom. But now you have 100,000 marketers. I believe as a ministry, we should be able to benefit with something from Safaricom for being the marketing agents for Safaricom. With those few remarks, thank you very much, Your Excellency, and congratulations to IDAC. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Waziri. So, Your Excellency, all protocols observed, today is a great day for this country. It's a great day for this country, Your Excellency, because of your dream of getting affordable devices to facilitate inclusivity in the digitalization agenda has been achieved. I remember one time earlier on in the tenure of your government, Your Excellency, when you tasked us to oversee operationalization of your digital superhighway agenda. I asked you where we are going to get the money from to roll out these programs. And your answer is very simple, that Eliud, you don't need money. Because as government, our role is not to compete with the private sector in business. The business of government is not to compete with the private sector, but to create an enabling policy, legal, and regulatory framework for the private sector to thrive. And based on that guidance, Your Excellency, we have worked through and through with the private sector in partnership to roll out our digital transformation agenda. When it comes to fiber, rollout of the 100,000 kilometers of fiber, we have worked with the private sector. Digitalization of government services, we have worked with the private sector. Rollout of the free Wi-Fi hotspots, we are now in partnership with private sector ISP service providers. So I want to thank you for that guidance, close monitoring, and tutelage, without which we would not have gotten this far. In pursuit of this digitalization agenda, Your Excellency, there has been a missing gap The missing gap has been the device. Connectivity is only meaningful if there is universal access, Your Excellency. And in this regard, I want to thank most sincerely EDAC for helping us as government to close the gap so that we can at long last have affordable smartphone devices in the hands of the wider Kenyan population. In the same vein, Your Excellency, I want to most sincerely thank you because as far as this digitalization agenda is concerned, you have led from the front. This is a major change program in government, Your Excellency. And anytime you are introducing change, people will always be resistant. Had it not been for your persistence and leadership, transformational leadership, we would not have gotten this far as our digitalization agenda is concerned. And for that, as a ministry, we owe you a great debt of gratitude. May I also, with your permission, Your Excellency, just recognize the invaluable input of a few individuals with whom we have worked very closely in pushing this agenda. I want to mention PS Engineer John Tandui. He has been a key cog in our digitalization agenda. In the same vein, allow me to mention PS Bitok. Without consultations and partnership with the Ministry of Interior through the State Department that PS Bitok heads, we would not have made much progress in our digitalization agenda, Your Excellency. I also want to mention PS Professor Edward Kisangani and all the CEOs under his ministry, especially the Communications Authority of Kenya, under able leadership of the chair here, Mary Wambui. She has also helped us facilitate an enabling framework from a regulatory perspective as far as the telecommunication sector is concerned. With those many remarks, Your Excellency, it is my distinguished honor and privilege to invite you to come and talk to the congregation. Thank you very much. Let's all be upstanding.
Thank you very much, Eliud. Let's take our seats. Asanteni sana. Distinguished leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yeah, good afternoon. It just crossed the line. Let me first say how happy and grateful I am that today we are on occasion. 11 months ago, I had a conversation in the morning with two gentlemen, Peter Ndegwa and Joshua Chepkony, on the big subject about the digital space in our country, what technology would do and how we can work together. They told me, Mr. President, all you have said is very good, but that this digitalization and digitization and technology journey has the challenge of the number of people who have smartphones. And they told me, unless you solve it, but the affordability of the smartphone, you will continue to experience challenges in that space. And they told me they would do something about it, but they needed the support of government. And I did promise them then that because it was my priority agenda to make sure that every Kenyan has an opportunity to interact with technology and to benefit from the journey of digitization, that I would go out of my way. I did request them to invest. And thank you, gentlemen, for investing. That is the power of the private sector. But I told them, as they invest, as government, we're going to play our role. We're going to make sure that there is a fiscal environment, a business environment that supports investment. We did work with the Treasury, both on the local fiscal requirements and even the East African ones, as Joshua has said. And on top of that, I told them I will do the two things. I will make sure that government policy is supportive, and I also promise them that government will lead the way in being a market for your product. I am very proud that, gentlemen, you can confirm that I have kept my part of the bargain. I not only have provided the policy environment and necessary incentive for you to invest, but as my CS Health has said, we became the first customer, and we have bought from you 100,000 tablets that will be used by our community health promoters. And therefore, one of the most important commitments of my administration under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda is to transform inclusion by taking every possible measure to ensure that every citizen has an opportunity to make their contribution to national growth and development, and also, in many ways, to benefit from that transformation. Accordingly, the plan has laid down the strategic framework of Kenyans to pursue their livelihoods and vocations more profitably and to access highly improved government services more conveniently and more affordably. So far, the response has been strong and encouraging. More land, for example, this year, was put under cultivation in this year's season, and more farmers received subsidized fertilizer and other inputs, and including extension services on a digital platform. For the first time, we managed to cut out brokers. We managed to cut out cartels who normally gave us so much problem whenever we had a subsidy program. They would buy subsidized fertilizer, repackage, and go and sell it. But this time round, technology helped us to deal with them. And they must be very sad people because they never got a chance to pilferage our fertilizer. And as a result, we have this year's maize harvest, for example, is going to be 15 million bags more than last year. Similarly, millions of hustlers have been able to register with the Hustler Financial Inclusion Fund and received affordable credit that is not necessarily secured by anything other than their ability and their credit rating in terms of how they pay. And they can now grow their credits, grow their businesses, and meet other financial needs. At the same time, we are now able to provide Kenyan learners all the way from early childhood development and education stage to the tertiary levels of university, various colleges and institutes, as well as technical and vocational education and training, with financial support and capitation in order to improve the quality of facilities, provide more teachers, improve the curriculum, and make education affordable in our institutions of learning. I was having a conversation with CS Machogu on the applications that now are online for all our children who are, all our students who are going to our TVETs and our universities. We had to work with the technology providers to make sure that it expanded the capacity for the hundreds of thousands of learners who are applying. And I am very confident and I'm very happy that technology has made many things easy, affordable, efficient, transparent, and accountable. Our universal health coverage, as was said ably by CS here, is off to a very brilliant start with the recent launch of the Community Health Promoter System, which will provide preventive and promotive health services at the grassroots countrywide and facilitate diagnostic and early detection of conditions requiring curative attention to Kenyans from the comfort of their homes and in all instances free of charge. All these interventions have made unprecedented progress in expanding inclusion, enabling previously marginalized groups and households who are typically the most vulnerable and in need of these opportunities, both in terms of participation and contribution, as well as receiving support and benefits.